Hi, it's Kathryn Berg with Lotus Homeopathy. And in this video, I want to address an issue that I answer so many times. And I feel like if I make a video about it, then I don't have to explain it to anyone anymore. You can just go watch the video. And this is about using remedies that you get in the store versus using remedies that are from a homeopath. So first of all, I just want to state that the blue boron remedies that you get in the store that come in the blue tube are fine for acute things. The 30Cs that you get, there's nothing wrong with them. They work well. I don't have an issue with those at all. The issue becomes when people want to use the 200C version of boron that you can get in the store for certain things. And they are a little surprised that they don't really notice that they work very well. And the reason being is that they aren't made exactly the same way that anyone else makes homeopathic remedies. So in case you don't know how homeopathic remedies are made, let me just give you a little brief explanation. And this is very simplistic. There are lots of variations in the process, but this is the basic way that things are made with homeopathic remedies. They go through a process called serial dilution and succussion. So the concept of dilution we all understand, and most of the remedies that I use are diluted a ratio of 1 in 100. That means that there's 1 part of substance to 99 parts of water. Those are C potencies, with the C being the Roman numeral 100. There are also what are called X potencies, and X potencies are 1 in 10. 1 part of the substance, 9 parts of water. But back to the way that they are made. So first of all, they get diluted, this ratio of 1 in 100. And then what happens is the remedies get succussed. And succussion means that it gets wrapped against a hard surface. So it would be something like this. If I were making a remedy in this spray bottle, which by the way, people don't use spray bottles to make remedies, but I happen to have it on hand. It gets wrapped against a surface like this. And that happens 40 to 100 times. And then 1 part comes out of there. It gets put in 99 parts of water, and it gets succussed again. This happens over and over again. Now, when you are doing a 30C, it goes through this dilution and succussion process 30 times. If you're doing a 200C, it does it 200 times. I have a neighbor who runs a lab at 3M, and when I was telling her about the process of how remedies were made many, many years ago, she said anyone who knows anything about physics knows that when you wrap something against a hard surface, such as I had just explained to you, it activates that substance. And she said, so that's what makes them work, isn't it? And I said, yes, it is what makes them work. And then the dilution makes them safe. So now let's look at remedies that are made by boron instead of other pharmacies. Instead of going like this, they get put on a vibration plate and they get vibrated back and forth. So it's more like this on a vibration plate. So that works just fine for a 30C, but the more dilutions and succussions it goes through, the less likely you are to be able to capture the energy of the substance that's in there if you are just vibrating it rather than wrapping it really hard against a surface. Interestingly, I went into a store once where they sell the boron remedies and was having a chat with the people behind the counter. It was a quiet day and nobody else was in there. I was telling them that I was a homeopath and we were kind of discussing things. And they said, oh, well, those 30Cs aren't much different than 200Cs, are they? Well, yes, they are different. What gives you that idea that they're not? So the idea came from boron itself. When they got some training on the remedies and how to sell them, they were told that. So this isn't just my idea that this is different. They actually have admitted that. I've originally learned about this from another homeopath who actually had inquired about how their remedies were made. And so I've known that this is true for over 20 years. And it appears that it hasn't changed because this conversation in the store was actually this year. Nothing has changed in that regard. So when people ask me about a 200C from boron that should work, it's really not going to be the same as getting a 200C from almost any other pharmacy who actually does succussion instead of vibration. And all of the remedies I get are succussed. They aren't vibrated. And I keep going back to this explanation that I got from my neighbor. She explained it beautifully, and it seems to be bearing out in real life. So I hope that answers some of your questions. I still encourage you to buy them at the store. If you need a 30C, they work just fine. But if you need stronger potencies, give me a call or check out a different pharmacy to get remedies that work better in a higher potency. That's all. If you have any questions, you can reach me at www.lotushomeopathy.com. Thanks. Bye.